That's when the whiskeys were kicking in. And 1, 2, 3, hey.
How do you feel? You think
Am I loud? Yeah, because sometimes I laugh. Oh, look at those 2 wiener dogs. I love those 2 wiener dogs.
What are your names?
I don't know, Hinkle and Schmidt.
Oh, I was saying something like that too.
Yeah, Hinkle and Schmidt of Wiener Dogland.
On the way home from Wisconsin, I bought cheese curds,
Yum.
beer, brat,
I mean,
with Bob Uecker on it.
the Ukes. Oh, jinx, 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 jinx.
Oh yeah, and I bought 4 different types of cheese spread.
Dang, you're not gonna poop for days, Jonah.
Hell no. Does cheese stop you from pooping?
I think it binds you up. I mean, unless you're lactose intolerant, then it runs right through you.
Yeah.
But yeah, cheese is a binding agent.
Yeah.
Constipation.
Oh my God, watching Becca and what's-his-face dance. Never again.
Garrett. Like the popcorn. You see how I didn't mess it up? Yeah. Well, plus it was like country song.
Always a country song.
Always a country song. And yeah, they were very much like dance. You know this is a recording. Should I be cutting this out?
Oh. Yeah.
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 This is Petals and Pricks with Kelsie and Jurkens, where we talk about me and recap The Bachelor. Jurkens loves it. Kelsie's never seen the show, but she's giving it a try for true friendship. Petals and Pricks with Kelsie and Jurkens.
Kelsie Huff.
Jonah Jurkens. Welcome back to our podcast.
Our podcast.
Yeah, you and me, we're a team in this podcast of nightmares.
You emphasized on that in a very interesting way.
It sounded sarcastic.
It sounded like all I've been talking about is like, I don't know, Kelsie, you're on my podcast, so maybe you should do what I say.
Yeah, that did sound very accusatory.
It did.
I didn't mean it to.
Yeah.
So you guys, just in case you're tuning in, this is going to be a good podcast, Jonah.
Tuning in?
My mouth isn't working.
Yeah, it's okay.
In case you're tuning in for the first time, this is Petals and Pricks. We are a Bachelor, Bachelorette franchise podcast.
We are a franchise podcast.
Yeah, franchise of one. Right?
My franchise.
Your franchise.
Yes.
Our franchise.
This is my brand, Kels.
Oh, gosh.
But let's say, if you guys don't, I'm Jonah Jurkens.
Yeah.
This is Kelsie Huff.
Hi.
We are Chicago comedians, I guess.
That's a good title for us.
Yeah.
Instead of like hopeless jokers.
Yeah. I love The Bachelor.
And reality TV in general.
And reality TV in general.
Say,
you do not. You're a skeptic.
I'm a skeptic. It's not my preferred medium of entertainment.
But you've been doing this for over a year now.
Can you even believe it?
If you're a local native, you've seen Kelsie on Windy City Live a lot. And
if you go to the dentist and watch TV.
Even though we put energy... Yeah, it's true. Or if it's just randomly at a bar last night. You put a lot of energy in this podcast, and it's funny because you'll never mention it on a national medium.
Yeah. So sometimes
local national.
Sometimes I am very fortunate to be on like TV every once in a while, just because they want a loud, funny person, I guess. And I never mention the podcast.
No,
and
you don't.
Jonah's like,
but one time
the
one time you got cornered into it. And you know, it felt like you were like married
Confession.
and in Las Vegas, and someone asked you if you were married, and you're like, yeah.
I can't do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't like the show so much. I like talking to Jonah, and I like our fellow prickheads. So thank you so much for listening. Yeah, thanks for listening, you jokers. So we are in season 14, Becca's season, episode 4, week 4. A lot of things happened, I think. And Jonah and I were talking like some of the bigger moments so far in this season were really underplayed.
Yeah.
Not hyped up very much.
Which we liked.
Yeah.
I felt surprised.
Me too.
Instead of being underwhelmed.
Yeah. So often, especially if you guys know how this sort of show runs, is like, they're like, the best thing ever is going to happen. And then
Jordan murders.
David's dead because of Jordan's underpants. And you're like, what?
While he kills witnesses.
And then it's just like they went to the ice cream store.
Yeah.
What?
And he slipped on a banana.
Yeah. And died. Nobody died. Annie Snoozle. Yes, they're very much underplayed this like uncomfortable moment.
Yeah.
This season, which we kind of
liked. Which I liked.
Yeah. So we liked that a little bit. And we also wanted to get quickly into, there's a couple of like Bachelor news stories that we want to hit on.
I can't do that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
If I sound different, I'm a little under the weather.
Oh, yeah. But
so my voice is even
try
lower.
to go your old school like ticker tape.
I can't go that high.
Bachelorette news brought to you by Jonah's mouth.
I can't go that high.
That's
Is that better?
Good. I think you're overthinking it. Okay, so let's start off with the positive. Yeah, this is positive, right?
That's a very good positive.
So if you go to Instagram, the Bachelor Insider is somebody we follow on the old Instagram, and you can follow us too, Petals and Pricks on Instagram. Yes. But they were like a huge congratulations to Ashley I, who was in the... You
can one picture a week.
Jonah's trying to get those slams in our own slams. So Ashley I, Jonah, we know her
slams.
from, well, I know her from the Winter Games, but she's been on it several times
before.
Has. So Ashley I and Jared H got engaged.
I would say during the Winter Games, she kind of took the nation by storm.
Oh, you'd say that.
I would say that.
You boldly stated it.
I would say that.
She did.
Well, for the 10,000 people that watched the show.
Yeah. That's a nation, a 10,000 nation, right?
I don't know. My town I grew up in was more than that.
What a brag.
Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
Here's the thing, you guys.
I
feel like Jonah
O-C.
has your own like Pee Wee Herman like word of the day, and you always try to slide in your hometown.
I just like saying it. Like, Oconomowoc.
It's a good word. So anyway, you know her from before that because she's been in the franchise for quite some time.
Yes,
Ashley I.
She's a franchise player.
And she got engaged to Jared H. Now they just put like a YouTube video out like a couple months ago too about their like love or whatever. Yeah. And they just got engaged while they were visiting the Bachelor in Paradise set. So you guys, now you know. Yeah. If you didn't know before. So there's some sort of uplifting news. Oh man, this podcast is going to be hard. Yeah. That's uplifting news is what I'm trying to say. And then some...
you sound like you're like, there's some uplifting. No.
Well, there's some super bummer news.
There's some booper. I said booper news.
We can't talk. Bummer news. We can get it all over in any media form, but we're looking currently at usmagazine.com. Yeah. So contestant Lincoln... so this article, which is, like I said, usmagazine.com.
We want to do a shout out to one of our sleuths who sent that to us.
Yeah.
It may or may not have been my mother.
It may have been. You're like, wait. What would her sleuth name be if it wasn't her real name? Like an old-timey detective name.
Well, we all know that she wrote in something once, and her name's Jill Suzanne Jurkens, and she wrote in as Suzanne Kirkens. So she's not very good at that. Yeah.
No, but like Private Dick. We probably we shouldn't call your mom Private Dick. It feels weird.
She probably loves it.
Okay. All right. What was the last name?
Jurkens.
No, I know your last name, you dumb. What was her fake last name? Slurkins?
Oh, Kirkens.
Yeah. Private Dick Kirkens. Yeah. Set in. Lincoln has...
Do you think PIs are called privates?
They're private dicks.
Oh, they're private dicks, yeah. Oh, Private Dick. I thought she changed her name to Dick.
No, Jonah. Okay. Private Dick.
Oh, Dick.
Yeah,
Dick
like
Kirkens.
an old-timey, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
Yeah. P.I. P.I. Kirkens. Annie Snoozo. Lincoln, assault and battery. It's convicted of assault and battery.
Years before Bachelor.
2 years before filming the season 14 show, which I got to tell you,
Well, he's clearly on steroids, so I'm not concerned by that.
Oh, you think the roids is...
I believe he is on steroids.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot.
Anyway, I just think it's we're trying to be transparent about everything on and off show, and I feel like there's a lot of articles on there. So if you want to read further on it, please do so. We're probably not going to mention it a lot in the show because we just kind of found out a day or two ago.
The Bachelor's denying knowing about it.
Yes, that's the other thing. Like
they should have hired Private Dick
Kirkens. Here's the other thing.
Figure that out.
I don't understand, and we should have asked Diggy when he was on, because he's our only contestant that we have like connections with. Why aren't
Here's
they
funny about this is I might say Oconomowoc a lot, but man, you bring up Diggy every single.
I do, because I feel like he's like our insider.
Yeah,
like he's the only one that's actually been involved.
Yeah,
I wonder how they should do stronger checks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, of course, people are going to say,
"Hey, have you been?
Have you ever done anything like a little sketchy?"
No.
For sure not. I'm here for love.
Well, all right, you're hired.
Yeah. Like if you have like you get hardcore checks if you work at McDonald's, Starbucks, like they do background checks.
Yeah.
Why aren't they doing that on The Bachelor? Especially when you're like feeding people with booze. It's a competitive state. It is a game show where like your testosterone is high because you're trying to win. Like
but maybe he pleaded it down though. Maybe he pleaded it down.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean I know that there are things
like
with the
show
law.
The Staircase.
Oh,
on Netflix,
Jonah.
check it out.
You really like it. You mentioned that I have to check it out.
Yeah,
I do have to check it out.
It's pretty good.
Is it going to make me mad? Because, in this Me Too movement and also like working with a lot of women organizations all the time, like I get tapped out because there's so much of this in my ether and my personal...
Oh, this is not one of those type of things.
Oh, okay, good.
It's a murder mystery, like making a murder.
I like murder mysteries, but sometimes, like...
But he supposedly pushed his wife down the staircase.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. So those are some sort of Bachelor in the news. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Cool.
Ticker tape. Good job, Jonah. So let's go into this episode.
That's what it runs out.
Oh, tore it off. So we start off with a rose ceremony.
I wish the news. I do wish that newsrooms were still like that.
Oh gosh.
You ever see Good Morning Vietnam?
Oh, I love
when they're doing that.
Vietnam.
They're like, did you hear about this?
Yeah, the two twins. Good Morning Vietnam was the reason I went to Columbia College.
What?
I thought I went for radio.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought, I'm like, I want to be like Robin Williams. This seems like an amazing job.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an improviser. I didn't realize there was a difference.
Oh.
Oopsies. I love that movie.
It's a really good movie. It's a lot more serious than what you think when you rewatch it.
Yeah. It's amazing. And it's about like cultures colliding and like nobody's good, nobody's bad. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah.
And like it's about like trying to get to know people. You know what else I loved about it?
What?
That there was no romance. Like he was trying to be like an 80s kind of slimeball. You know, those movies are like, well, ladies, ooga, ooga.
Yeah.
And at the end, it did not work for him. He's like, what? Like, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to happen.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the ending of that movie.
He gets kicked out.
He does?
Yeah. They fire him and he has to go home. Yeah.
That's the end of the movie?
Agent Cronauer gets kicked out and goes home.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of town.
Get out of town, yeah. And Forrest Whitaker kind of takes over because he was kind of the pushover.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nancy.
Yeah.
He's kind of
Sorry, Nancy.
He's kind of the pushover. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, so good.
He's kind of the pushover, like kind
That's
of
cool.
following
That's
the
groovy.
rules. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that part.
groovy.
Yeah, it's groovy.
Yeah. And they talked about homosexuality. Like, obviously, it was the 80s, so it was a little like,
Because that one guy gets kind of pushed up a little bit.
Well,
who owns the bar?
owner of the bar.
Yeah.
And it is not done in a way like it probably would be done in 2018, but they're like friends.
Yeah.
You know, which is interesting. It has like a lot of like interracial
I've never seen you so excited something we talked about on the podcast before.
Yeah, because I don't like, you guys, turns out I don't like The Bachelorette. I love comedy and like comedy with like trying to have a meaning.
And focus.
Yeah. Anyway, watch Good Morning Vietnam and not The Bachelor. Okay.
Oh, but the purpose of this is if they still had that stuff, if I had enough money, I'd have a room with just printers like that.
So like everything that would come on the internet would just be
or like if someone was like, "Did you hear about the news?" and I run in there and go.
You could just bring paper and rip it everywhere you go.
No, I just want to go. And then rip it out.
So you're like real analog. You're like
but
digital.
what if for some reason it still was just in that time frame? So it's still like I was like, what, the Berlin Walls come down? Yeah,
you're just really far behind on news.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, so let's get into this for real,
My
you guys.
voice
For
really
real.
cracked
You
on
know
that.
what? We're gonna try, Jonah. I think we should give ourselves a personal challenge.
What's that?
To try to stick to this real quick.
Okay.
Do you think we can do it?
Yeah.
There was so much doubt in your voice. Oh my God. Okay, so a quick recap, right? So they have two rose ceremonies,
Yeah.
which is bananas.
Bananas.
There's some drama with Jean
Not
Paul.
the one that David slipped on.
No. Not those bananas.
Yeah.
Like metaphorical bananas.
What if you found out that Jordan was like, I put a banana in his bed?
Oh man, that's what they're really pushing, but it's
peel in
not.
his bed.
Well, that lasted 20 seconds.
Yeah. We can joke around about things.
No, yeah, I'm just yanking your chain. And then they go to Utah, which I was like, oh, how boring. It looked beautiful.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
There's
I was
some
like,
real nice places in Utah.
it was gorgeous. I
Yeah.
guess I'm only thinking of Utah. I don't know, it was like sort of cement and like dry. It
Yeah.
was beautiful. So shame on me for being like, blah, it's boring. David comes back.
Dave comes back.
And then there's a one-on-one and
I
a
like
big
that
group
when
date.
Jordan's like, oh my God, do you see how grotesque that man looks? And he's
Yeah.
just like, it's got a little bruiser.
He just kind of looks like slightly Raging Bull. Like,
yeah.
so he broke
and
his
it
nose.
is getting a lot better.
Yeah, it cures fast.
Do you think he did it on purpose so he could get that rose? I think he did.
Here's the thing about Becca, I must say. She does give roses. You know, Jordan jokingly said, like, oh, pity Rose.
Yeah.
She does give roses for a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
I didn't notice,
Yeah.
like, you're
I think it's
hurt.
kind of like you did this for me. You got hurt for me.
Yeah, here's that.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of like that where it's like, okay, she might not, like, super love this dude, but she's like, hey, you tried. Rose for effort.
Yeah, rose
you
for
know
effort.
what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like that. I think it's a fair way to play the game.
Yeah.
You know, anyway,
It'd be funny if you like grabbed it and he grabbed like the
stem.
stem, but there's still like
thorn?
the thorn in there and just like he.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine that
And then
poor
she's
intern?
here's another rose.
People just keep injuring themselves
Yeah, on purpose.
to get the rose.
Yeah, what if somebody found that like that's her pattern?
Oh yeah,
I know
yeah.
because I'm a professional poker player.
What?
I'm saying that's what the guy I'm pretending to be the guy on the. I can't change my voice right now.
You're pretending.
I'm pretending to be somebody on the show.
Okay, run me through this act out from the beginning.
The act out is
okay,
this.
so the act out is this.
Is
break it down, Jonah.
I keep hurting myself because I found out her tell is whenever somebody gets hurt, they get a rose.
You know what word I was missing? Tell.
You know why? Because I missed it too. I never said that.
You jumped from poker player to injury, so you're like a con man.
I jumped from injury to poker player.
Yeah. So you're like a con man. You're like, I'm on her tell.
I've always wanted to be a grifter.
Yeah. Oh
we
my
know
gosh.
that.
We for sure. We talk about grifting a lot on this podcast.
You know, we also talked about last podcast is
so many things.
The drinking game. I thought for sure was going to catch on.
Yeah.
I hope you prickheads tried. It's all about Truly. We're trying to get them to be a sponsor. Mm-hmm. We're actually one step closer. Not lying.
Yeah.
And
well, you are. Great job.
Well, through somebody. Yeah. Which is going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going to truly wear so much Truly. I'm going to get a little hat. I'm going to have a little zip up. I'm going to have fingerless gloves.
Oh, yeah. That's very specific.
Because you need to feel how cold it is to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And because they said Truly all the time last episode. So I was like, ladies and gentlemen, prickheads, let's play a drinking game where we drink Truly during this.
How many times did they say it this episode?
Guess what we started off with? Leo, not lying. One of the first lines in the show is Leo looking at everybody. He goes, none of us truly know if we'll get a rose or not. And I was like, let the games begin.
Chug.
And I was like, Leo. And then, you know how many more times they said it?
Not
once,
a lot.
Not once.
One time.
I was so excited. I was like, cancel my appointments tomorrow.
You know what they did? Truly let you down.
They
up top. Oh, Leo saved the day though. So at least you got one.
I've never been so excited and so disappointed.
All at once.
Yeah.
What a just like a plethora of emotions.
I know.
All in the first couple seconds.
Right.
Cheapers.
Creepers. Where'd you get them peepers? Yep.
Where'd you get them eyes? So we start with the cocktail ceremony. Are we ready to get into this?
Yeah.
Blake chats with her about kids a little bit.
Hey, my name's Blake. We've gone on one date. How many kids do you want?
No. And I'm like, hold the brakes, buddy.
Yeah.
Pump those brakes,
right.
Blake.
She's like, maybe 3. How about you? 3 to 5?
3 to 5.
You could tell she was like, that would damage my body.
No, you're like, nice try, buddy.
Yeah. He's
nice
like, that's
try.
what women are made for.
Oh, he didn't say that. But if that was his
philosophy.
Philosophy?
Yeah.
That'd be bad news.
Don't
That's
make that sound. You and your licky. You always
sometimes
lick my...
when I like forget words or I say the wrong words, I feel like if I flick my tongue a lot, that the right word will come.
This is what I go.
Are we cartoon people? But what do you feel about boys' names for girls? Stevie and Charlie?
This is how I feel. No, I like. Well, Stevie, I think is a stupid name.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Did you have a problem with Stevie when you were like a guy named Stevie bullying you when you were a kid or something?
No.
Jonah, don't cry. I found your tell, and it's Stevie.
No, I think Stevie for a girl's name, I'd be upset.
Like Stevie Nicks?
Yeah, from the 80s. But I do like the Charlie a lot. I think is a very. This is gonna sound weird.
What?
But just know that I own it. Is that I always want to name my daughter Charlie, and I also think Charlie is a very sexy name for a girl. Those aren't two things.
Connect. Yeah.
Those aren't two correlations I made, but I do like the name Charlie because my grandfather's name is Charles, and I always want to name my daughter after him.
And you're like, my grandpa
Charlie.
was a hot
and
piece.
I think that's a cool name for. Yeah, he really was back in his day, man. He had some chompers on him.
So that's okay. You can think a name is
sexy. But then I
sexy.
also thought about it. I'm like, I think that name's really sexy, and I'm like, oh no, that's just not a good thing. Then I was like,
are you having like discovery moments?
Then I was like, all right, what daughter's name? Last name's Jurkens. Like Charlie Rose Jurkens. That sounds good. And then it took me a while to be like, Charlie Rose. Why does that sound good together? Oh no.
No.
Could you imagine people if they actually named their kid Charlie Rose?
I'm sure they have.
I sure they have too. And now?
No.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so upset that I named my dog Screech.
Did you really name your dog Screech?
No, I've never had I had a dog named Captain.
Oh, that's a good one. Except for
one.
Captain Underpants. Let's not talk about that in this
Louise,
episode.
it's coming up
Jeepers
later.
creepers. So they're having a nice time, right? And then the dudes kind of talk about David.
Yeah.
And David comes back. You know, he comes back.
Everyone's excited except for good old Jordan.
Who talks to God. Jordan talks about talking to God a lot. What
didn't
are your
catch that.
thoughts about
God?
people who talk to God?
I don't know if I believe in an afterlife, but
Well,
is that what you're asking me?
No. I mean, we can get into that for sure
No,
because I
want
could
to.
talk about that forever. But people who talk to God and like talk about talking to God, like I don't want to ever shame people for what they believe.
No, because there's nothing wrong with that. But
yeah, but
were you kind of bragging about it?
Yeah, I don't know why, but it makes me a little
It
like.
just seems
what?
like I talk to God, so if you say something wrong to me, you're gonna be
That's what I'm saying. It's very
He's
Old
like
Testament.
the wrath of God.
It's very spiteful. Like, well, I talk to God, and if you piss me off, things bad happen. Like, how much of an ego do you have that you're like, you know what? God cares so much about me. He's going to spite you because I talk to him. That's like, that makes me like uncomfortable.
Right.
When people think that.
I would say that this episode was an episode where when Jordan would talk, I would say, wait, what?
Huh?
What did you say?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of that going on.
He is searching. I feel like he's like kind of Waboom, where he's trying to find things that can turn into memes.
100%.
He's trying to meme the shit out of his face.
100%. And I got to tell you, and again, it's because Nick's season was my my intro. I think people are really trying to recreate Corinne, and I feel like every once in a while I'm like looking for the new Corinne, and I feel like that's what he's trying to be, which I've said a lot in the podcast, so I won't want to belabor the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like trying to get those sound bites. So he's like, she got the golden shorts from Becca, and he says another sound biteable thing like Becca might have my groin on her mind, and then he like smells the underwear and says smells like victory, and I was like, vomit in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, that's the butthole version.
Yeah, and you're
butthole
smelling
side.
your own underwear? Like, that's perfect for that guy.
Yeah.
He's like, man, my butthole smells so good. Like, I did not like that moment.
I didn't like it either.
It was pretty gross.
Also, I find him to be very interesting in what he thinks women notice. He's like, I don't know if you notice, I'm wearing a shirt that normally should have a tie in it, but I'm not wearing a tie.
Yeah.
So I'm showing her that I can play it pretty loose.
Yeah. I think that would be
really.
really.
I don't think anyone would notice that.
Yeah, unless you're really like, I think he needs to find someone who is as much into fashion as he is.
No, because I don't think he'll ever think that somebody is.
Oh, but they would at least have something to talk about.
I feel like he needs I think he needs like a, oh God, what's the Freddie Prinze Jr. movie? She's all that.
All that.
I think he needs like a She's All That.
Yeah, like an Eliza Doolittle, My Fair Lady, same deal. Pygmalion.
He's like, take your glasses off.
But that's control. That freaks me out a little. But I think you're right.
He needs
where
control.
he wants to like shape someone into a version of him.
Right.
That's creepy to me, isn't it?
And he says that he's a male model so much. I'm starting to believe that he's not a male model.
Right?
Right?
Where you're like, if you say it so much, I feel like maybe you work at a hardware store.
That's like when I tell people I'm a successful comedian.
Jonah burn.
Yeah.
Self-burn. So when David shows up, he gets the rose and then he goes to sleep because he has to rest up. I like when people take doctor's orders seriously.
Yeah.
Like Clay did in the last one.
I like, even though he had a broken nose, he's still being a little instigator.
Yeah. I feel like he is a little like
puppets dance, kind of like that. That's why I think he threw himself off his bed on purpose.
Really?
I think he did.
Oh, you guys, hot news! He heard it here first.
Yeah.
Conspiracy. Oh my gosh, she does give the rose to him.
You know what is funny about the Leo thing? This is that. So for some reason, it popped in my head
The
when Leo said the truly thing.
Okay, let's. You know what we should do?
Why had to
Can
quit?
you do a rewind noise? It sounds like your cartoon fox noise. I like it. Anytime you want to go back, you should do that.
I had a little thought where I said, he listens to the podcast. And then I was like, oh, this isn't live.
This is a live podcast. Jonah was like, wait.
Yeah.
How does time and space work?
Wait a second. Wait, no.
Is the
There's
world
no
round?
way he wouldn't be saying that if I didn't say that.
Time and space and
I like
a round planet. We're going to get to that.
Now we're going back to where we were just talking about.
Oh, yeah. You got to fast forward.
No, we're now.
We're now.
Yeah, we're now.
We're now. Current now.
What about then? That was back in the past.
Yeah.
We're now.
We're now. We're the power of now. Living in now.
Spaceballs.
I love Spaceballs.
I know.
We talked about this a lot in the show, and sorry, Nancy, but Spaceballs, I saw that. That was like my first Mel Brooks movie. So it's like my favorite.
Mine too.
Yeah.
None of them hold up to it.
Yeah, I wonder if I saw like Blazing Saddles first, because there are moments in Blazing Saddles where I'm like losing my mind. It was so funny. But because I saw it second, it didn't have that same place in the heart.
I didn't see Blazing Saddles until I was older.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a jarring movie when you're older, when you're like, holy shit, this movie's real racist.
Yeah.
But then you don't get the satire it's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you get older, you're like, oh, funny.
It's definitely making a point.
Yeah.
And Richard Pryor was supposed to be in. We'll talk about.
Right.
Sorry, Nancy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that movie later.
Right. I just watched Richard Pryor Myth the Logic. They talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, check it out.
Check it out.
If you guys want to check it out, here's my Showtime password. It is.
Give it.
So I thought it was funny when David sat down with Becca and she's like, oh my God, you look so good. All things considered. I was like, oh my God, my poor heart hurts for him.
I don't think she meant it like that.
That's what she said, though.
No. I mean, your face, it's okay.
Yeah.
So vanity versus injury. That's sort of the Jordan David battle.
Yeah.
And if we're going to be jumping ahead just from like when they're like next time on The Bachelorette, it seems like they're going to be on a 2-on-1 or whatever it's called.
Which, of course, they are. They're
the only
If you watch wrestling, they've been setting this feud
for
up
sure.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Leo, I love this phrase. I think we should totally bring it back when Jordan was talking about like, I'm Captain Underpants and blah, blah, blah. Leah was like, yeah, I know you're beefing with him, man. I love that phrase. Like, yeah, you're beefing.
Yeah.
I love it. Because beefing can mean fighting. It can mean farting. And it can obviously be a delicious meat product. I just love that it can be.
I see, in my head, when I was like, and then the third one, she's going to talk about penises. And then you go, and it's a delicious. I was like, holy shit,
Wait,
Kels.
is beef penis?
Yeah.
Really?
Showing some beef.
I've never heard that. I've never heard beef as penis.
I've heard beef as vagina, too.
Oh, so it's like a non-gender specific term?
Beef curtains.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Gross.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I mean, beef curtains aren't gross. The term
beef curtains
is a little weird, right?
No, I think beef curtains would be gross. Like beef curtains?
Yeah, like draped from your window,
that's
slaughtered
beef?
Animal.
Right.
That's not, yeah. Also, it's a very large animal.
It's a very large animal.
I mean, I have very large windows.
Yeah, you do. He's big in your mansion.
Yeah. Anyway, but I just like that term. Anyway, moving on. So,
Did you like David's little caddy?
David is catty. I can't even keep
when
up
he
with
got the
the
rose?
cattiness.
Did you remember what he said?
Yeah, he's like,
that?
"Hey, Jordan."
No, he goes, I might not have a male model face, but I have a rose, bitch. He said that.
Why do I miss?
How'd you miss that?
How do I miss certain things?
I don't know. He said that.
I think because I'm very aggressively taking notes.
I went back and I was like, whoa.
So he didn't say it to his face. He said it to the
He said a talking head.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. And
then they cut to Jordan talking shit about what did he say? Oh, he goes, yeah, he like was about ready to say something like kind of like really cocky and confident. He was like, all I know is I'm Captain Underpants and
yeah, he didn't know how he was gonna end that sentence.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
It was so funny. That's the thing we talked about that I think last thing where I'm like, I feel like he just starts talking. He's like, I'll figure it out.
Doesn't know the end. Yep. And at least he was honest about that one.
Take an improv class.
Yeah, but you know what? His confidence is not lacking.
I think it is lacking.
No, but I mean, if your confidence is lacking sometimes, well, maybe it's different for some people. But you don't start a sentence. You're a little more neurotic, I think, about it. He just goes.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that's an improv thing where you're just like, I'll go and figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just go.
But I like his like face during it, too. He's just like, yeah, I'm Captain Underpants. And that's all I got.
You just see like dust.
Because he has that like kind of like that face, you know?
Zoolander face. It's
Yeah.
like lemon. Like I just sucked on a lemon face.
Yeah.
Eyebrows up, squinty eye. Like,
or like there's like a sun in the face, treasure in the distance.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. You know what it is? Rules. Joey Tribbiani smelling the fart.
Oh.
That's the acting trick.
Oh, is it?
Just smell the fart. You remember?
No, I do remember. Now you did the face, I remember.
Yeah, I was like,
what is that?
Fart smelling. So we've got the rose ceremony. So we've got David, Colton, and Chris all have the rose. And we're just recapping because obviously that happened last episode. So this is a rose ceremony that should have happened last episode.
Right.
Just in case petals and prickheads are like, what happened?
Well, they
we're
watched
recapping.
the show.
Yeah. But then
we see everybody lined up for the rose ceremony.
Uh-huh.
Why is Nick in a tracksuit?
I don't know. I don't know if they cut the explanation.
Yeah. I wrote, what's the story, Morning Glory?
Yeah, I put tracksuit question mark.
Yeah, me
Yours
too.
Yours is much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we never really know why. We just see him and then he's like, yeah, I'm confidently wearing a tracksuit. So I don't know why they didn't give us a backstory, but there he is.
Yeah.
In a tracksuit. And you know what?
He's like, I better get a rose because I'm wearing a tracksuit. You're like, what's the thing?
What's happening? There? Yeah, but he got it. So we got Jason
Do you think
Wills.
he has mob ties and he's reminding her, hey, we know your family?
I don't think so. I don't think he's mob tied.
You don't think so?
I mean, I don't know anything. Maybe.
You think they're trying to promote Gotti?
Him and John Travolta are connected.
Did you see the new commercials for Gotti?
No, I saw a billboard.
It's been panned by critics.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Then their whole thing is this, yeah, but the people like us. Who you gonna trust? Some troll behind a computer or the people? That's
Yikes.
Not even kidding. That's their.
Wow. They're really trying to sell those tickets. I don't like when people are like, the people know. It's like, you don't know me.
When
you don't know
people
me.
put like reviews, but it's just people's tweets.
Yeah.
They did that for That's My Boy.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow. The age we live in is pretty amazing.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Jonah's like, pretty cool.
Yeah, I said that I was looking at something else, and I decided not to.
So who goes home, right? We've got Mike, who is a ponytail, who Leo was having some funny comments about previously of like, he's so attractive because he has a ponytail.
Oh,
Leo,
really?
Yeah, so Mike goes home. And then Ryan, who we're always like, who's that? Who's that? They definitely didn't give Ryan a lot of camera time. Exactly. A lot of camera time. So Mike and Ryan go home. We don't really see them, I don't think, leave. They don't have like goodbye speeches or anything. Mm-hmm. So we have another rose ceremony closer to the end, and they do have exit speeches. These guys do not. Am I wrong, or did I just miss it?
No, they do. I think they do the ponytails or something. Oh no, I would confuse him with the guy at the end. We'll talk about.
Okay.
Because I was like, is that the guy with the ponytail? Because his hair looked like it was in a ponytail.
Gotcha. So after the end, you know how this game show works. They're like, we're so sad, but now we're going to an exotic
Utah.
place. So they announced the Utah, and Jason is really pumped for Utah.
Yeah.
Like I was like, whoa, this guy loves Utah. Yeah. So Park City, Utah.
Yeah, he punched Chris in the face.
He's like, I love you so much. Clack. Maybe that's why Chris was hobbling in.
Yeah.
Blake looks like Ken Marino so much in a couple of these shots. I was like, my mind was blown away. So if you guys don't know Ken Marino, guy from the state, he's on Party Down. Also on the satire Bachelorette of
Burning Love.
Yeah. There's a couple of times when Blake looks and I have to like double check that it's not Ken Marino. Yeah. No, not a cartoon noise. So we're in Park City now.
Yeah.
It looks super pretty.
Does look really pretty.
Which is, again, my bad for like being skeptical of Utah. What do I know? One-on-one happens.
It's kind of like when you hear like the words Idaho.
Yeah. You're like,
go. Really? Idaho.
Oh, wordplay. One-on-one happens.
Yeah.
With popcorn. Garrett. I have to say popcorn so I don't say Jarrett. There are dude chats beforehand.
Hey, with Garrett, what type of popcorn do you think he would be flavor-wise?
Kind
of
what's
cheesy?
Like the whitest?
White cheddar cheese.
White cheddar.
So he's like white and cheesy.
Doesn't he seem like, listen, I'm not trying to like...
I feel like his basketball name would be White Cheddar.
Yeah, like I mean, listen, I'm like a white person, but he seems like a little Magoo, right?
Yeah.
Like a little
a little Magoo, fun word.
Like a little bit like, hey guys!
Yeah.
And I know that that's my personality too. Like I'm somebody who like walks in and everyone's like, are you a golden retriever?
When she told him that they're going to go bobsledding, I thought he was going to chest bump her.
Wow, this guy is pumped.
I think it's chest bumper and like headbutt her at the same time because he's so excited.
Like
remember that scene in, which is a really movie heavy reference one, but like in Dumb and Dumber when he throws that snowball at her face when they're like a inch away. That seems like that guy.
Will's they're starting to throw snowballs and I was like, oh man, don't do Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the one-on-one happens and oh my gosh, I think maybe one of the funniest.
Fun together.
They do. One of the funniest, like, non-on-purpose things happens.
What?
The kid. Do you remember the kid?
No.
So the one-on-one, she jumps on him like people do in The Bachelor
she's very
Bachelorette.
affectionate, which I like.
She jumps on him, and there's a kid who they blurred their face off of the kid, but a kid is walking on the sidewalk.
He kicks her?
She is this close, in my opinion, from kicking that kid in the face. And then she says, we're kicking it off in a new city. I'm like, how amazing would that be if she kicked that kid in the face right now? I was like, oh, dang.
But what if she did and she like never noticed?
They just keep skipping.
Like, falls back.
Oh, gosh. Maybe I was just
what if that happens and he spins around and he hits like 4 other kids? It's like all these kids like running.
We are cartoon people. We're like, oh man, oh golly gee. So they were having a good time. So they would go shopping, and he makes a joke about like kind of using that like big, like I don't know what those are called. I know when you put them on your hands, like the big furry hat on your head. I know when you put it on your hand, it's called a muff. That's what it's called.
Okay.
But I don't know what it's called when you put it on your head. I don't think it's called a head muff.
Russian hat.
Yeah, but she's like, tuck my ears in, you know. He's just like having a goofy time, right?
Yeah, I like that where he's kind of like he can do something stupid and he's like, make fun of me.
Yeah.
Well, he does say like I feel like you can make fun of you can make fun of everything, and I was like, what, like Mexicans? We all know the way you think.
I know that's exactly. I'm like because here's the thing, like we know a bit about him because of social media, and he was like making fun of like some Parkside stuff and like some very
he was liking things,
right? But you know, my brain went there too,
right.
Jonah.
But I've also accidentally liked things and been like, ah, shit.
But I guess what I'm saying is, out of context, I was also filling in all those blanks. Where I was like, oh, you can make fun of anything. And I'm like, except for maybe shootings, buddy. Except for maybe And
you can make fun.
And you're like, oh dear. Yeah, because there was a moment where I got all tight butthole.
Yeah.
I was like, don't say that.
We're switching to something bad now.
Yeah. Oh, they did a ginger shot. Which I think is a fun thing to do on dates. I've never done it.
Is that what that is? Is that what that was?
Ginger, yeah. So they were like in a cafe and they looked like a little orange juice.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was a ginger shot because they were both like, it burns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love making people do ginger shots because it is not pleasant.
Never done one.
Oh my gosh. You know what? We should do it on camera next.
Okay.
Nick, I'll get a ginger shot. But Jonah, you're like a gym guy, and you like take all. You'll be fine.
Yeah. If you saw pictures of me, you wouldn't guess that one.
Oh, you guys, Jonah's feeling very self-conscious today. He's wearing a hoodie.
Oh yeah. It's 80 degrees out. I'm wearing a hoodie.
You're wearing a hoodie
because I feel
Jonah,
bloated today.
You wear hoodies all the time. Do you feel bloated all the time you're wearing hoodies?
Lately, I have. Yes.
Oh, Jonah, you gotta love your body.
Thanks.
It got weird.
Can I tell you something that is one of those things that just every time I pops in my head? Because Becca was like, "Oh, this place reminds me of a thing in Minnesota that I really love." Right? But she goes, "There's a place in," and then every time someone goes, "There's a place in," I go, "Ocean Avenue."
What's that?
You don't know that song
Keep singing.
I don't know the rest of it. Plus my voice. There's a place in Ocean Avenue. You know that song?
No. What's it from?
It's from Yellow Card from like the 2000s.
Like a commercial?
When pop punk was the big thing.
Gosh, Prickhead Nation, they might know.
There's a place in Ocean Avenue.
Isn't that weird though? How things get stuck in your head like that?
Well, yeah, we're like every time you hear certain words, it just instantly goes.
Because your brain neurons are amazing, man.
Is there what?
Your
brain neurons.
Yeah, the neurons in your brain.
Is there anything that like pops like that for you?
Okay, so back in the day, my mom used to actually use VHS and videotape all the commercials. So like Looney Tunes.
Seriously?
Yeah. So we can go home. I still have all these VHS of like She-Ra and He-Man Christmas and all this crazy stuff. But she also recorded the commercials. So there's a commercial, McDonald's commercial. A little girl's at the piano recital, and she's doing the da 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 da, but she's singing McDonald's stuff. Wish I had a chocolate shake, and a fries, and then at the end she goes da 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 da. So every time I hear a classic song like that, I'm like McDonald's.
You know
I
who
need
that
McDonald's.
is? That's Kelly Clarkson.
It is not, you liar. I believed you for 1 second.
Yeah, I saw your face.
I was like, really?
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah.
So every time you go to McDonald's, you think that?
Well, every time I hear that song,
fine.
I go McDonald's, and that's how they make you an assassin.
Murder, kill.
That's some Manchurian Candidate shit right there.
By the way, it says 83 million plays on Spotify.
Oh, your Ocean View thing? Here we go.
You know that song?
Don't, not yet.
There's a place off Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you.
We gotta cut it because we don't have the rights.
And it felt so right. Sleeping all day, staying up
That's a great song.
I don't know it. I've never heard that song before. Does that mean I'm older than you? Probably.
You are a tad older than me. That song is very popular.
Oh, golly.
But every time someone goes, "There's a place," I go, "Oh, Ocean Avenue."
Nailed it. So were you singing the whole night long then?
I was.
Good. I love that. We were speaking of that same moment, like, hey, there's a place in, right?
Ocean Avenue.
in Minnesota called Stillwater. It reminds me of my home vibe, and I loved it because Garrett Popcorn said, like, "Me too," and I'm like, "You're from Reno, bro.
Yeah,
like, that's a different vibe."
He's like, "Stillwater. That's where you get the good prostitutes."
Oh, golly. So she does mention something on.
And also, she's like, "You're like my dad."
I was just going to ask you
Christ,
that. Okay,
yeah.
so do you go for partners that your parents would like or remind you of your parents? You personally, Jonah Jurkens. Because she mentions it a lot. Like, not only do you kind of remind me of your dad, but I think my dad would like you. Does that influence your opinion about a partner?
I think if my personal opinion is if I feel that they are accepted by my family, So, like, I definitely, like, you know, let's talk about my ex. But, like, Katie was very, like, well-liked. In my family, and that was very easy. But then I definitely dated a girl like that my grandma didn't like, and that was but my family's very accepting. So when they don't like somebody, they're reading personality and they're reading something wrong. So that's always a. Do
you think like that for that one example where like your grandma specifically didn't like someone? Is it because she was like mean to you?
No, because she tried too hard, and my grandma sees that as like they just want people to be them. Like whenever I bring somebody home. I feel like I'm left out, and they're the most important people in the room. They're that type of family. Other than sometimes when I would go to her family, it was all Italian, so it was like they judging me.
Gotcha. You talked about this relationship before.
Yeah.
So do you find that you're attracted to partners that remind you of your parents in some way, or even like in a big way?
No. Well, I think like excuse me. I don't know. I think it freaks me out if I'm like, oh, you're just like my mom.
Yeah.
That would freak me out.
Yeah. So it affects you one way or the other. Like I think some people are really drawn to that, and some people are just medium.
You know what I really look for though?
What?
Is if my mom would like their mom.
Interesting.
That's a really that's something I realized over the course of my relationships. I definitely am like, whenever I meet their mom, I'm like, would my mom like you? I always kind of like wished that. I guess that's always because I hated like I always like when families are fun together.
Yeah. So you're looking to
that.
expand your family.
Not looking, but yeah, like when we're all when there are the times and moments that everyone's together, everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, but I mean, for relationships, like for example, like I don't necessarily look for that. I just think it's interesting that like.
Oh yeah, same question to you.
Well, you're looking for a growing family.
I'm looking for somebody that can be part of my family.
Yeah.
Like I.
So not separate or not.
Right. Like that's one thing what Garrett was talking about, how he felt that this girl was. Putting a wedge in between his family and his friends and stuff like that.
You're talking about his ex-wife.
His ex-wife. Yeah. So I was very much like, I hate when either families cause that to happen or when relationships cause that to happen. Because I definitely have friends who like their wives or husbands have definitely kind of caused that wedge with people in the family.
Yeah.
Like I just try to get along with the whole family if I like them or not.
Yeah.
No matter what. Because like, why do I want to be like, oh, fuck that guy?
Yeah. I think it's different. No, totally. I think it's really strange how people react. So for example, like I don't think causing a wedge in anybody's family, like I'm not pro that, but I have a different relationship with my family than like Jason has with his family, right? And so it is kind of hard to merge the two. So for example, like the Huff side of my family, you know, there's some sort of like, I guess discontent would be the word. And so I don't have a problem sort of in my past of being like, we're not supporting each other. We're not going to see each other anymore, you know? So like, so I have no problem like cutting out family, which sounds bad, but that has been my experience. I've had to do it. So not that I would ever do that to Jason's family, but that's something that he wouldn't even consider.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? If there was, and again, I'm not saying that this is his example of his family, but let's say his family was like super toxic.
Yeah.
I don't think he would ever cut them out. Gotcha. Whereas my experience, I do. Yeah. So thank God that doesn't happen because that might have been a problem for us. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think I'm looking because I think both my families, my mom and my dad's side, aren't very toxic. They definitely have their own fights.
Oh, sure. Because I mean, humans, like, right?
Yeah. They don't seem toxic, but my family's like in between. Like I'm not very like I'm close with my family, but only when we're together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it's interesting if I date people that are they talk to their parents like every other day or every day. I think it's really cute, but like I'm always like.
Yeah, I don't have that experience either.
Me either. I don't know how that is. It feels weird.
It seems like a lot to me.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I don't know if I talk to anybody like that much. I mean, Jason, because we share space together, right?
Yeah, because I've been in relationships where definitely I think like it was always about us going to their family. But then it was like, well, I never get to see my family. So like the times like Christmas Eve, I would never sacrifice because I've always only spent Christmas Eve with my family.
Well, that seems fair. Like you have a tradition and there's like one day.
Yeah, but sometimes girls aren't cool with that.
Oh, because they have their own?
Yeah, because they just like, well, I want to do with my family this year, which is understandable. Like a kind of a, I'll give you this if you give me this type thing.
Yeah. Like I know that like, I think everybody like depends on the relationship that you, like the boundaries. Like, so for example, like my sister, because she's married now, she has a kid. So there's definitely like different rules, like so Thanksgiving is here and blah 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 is there, you know, that kind of thing. But I feel like,
which is understandable.
Yeah. But I don't actually look out for it. Like I hope my sister doesn't mind me saying this. Oh, we'll see. Time will tell. But she used to specifically go for a look.
Can I call her real quick?
No. Like doodly doot. People that looked like my dad.
Oh, do you think she was consciously doing that, or just kind of subconsciously doing it?
I think subconsciously.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, the man that she ended up marrying and having a kid with looks nothing like my dad.
Okay.
So, but like she was going for specific men that had that physicality.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think they always acted like my dad. It was just like a physicality thing. And you see that when like couples sometimes like it kind of looks like they're brother and sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I understand that, like, because I do think you're going to be drawn towards something or sort of run away from something that you are used to. Like that's how you are taught.
Yeah.
You're taught within your family. So it's going to be in your subconscious mind, I guess. So yeah, anyway, I definitely do the exact opposite, which is also sort of giving power to your parents.
Okay.
So like I never go, we talked about this before, like my dad was very alpha, right? Like very alpha, in control, sort of traditionally like toxic masculinity, you know, the whole shebang, right? So go, well, for Jason, for example, he is way more sensitive, way more like in touch with like creativity, things that seem like somebody like my dad would feel like he was weak. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they would not have gotten along. Yeah. You know, like my dad would have made fun. You know what I mean? Like
how's Jason with family?
Like his own family?
Your family.
Oh, good. Well, we have a very female-centric family.
Okay.
So my extended family, like my mom has 5 sisters, 1 brother.
Yeah.
There's a lot of female, and Jason's really chill around female energy.
I'm so much better with that.
Yeah, you've talked about because you were raised by a single mom. Yeah. So there isn't this like he can also. So he is very much like into sports, which is so terrible. But like he can cross the line and talk to men as well. Yeah. So he does like what is it called? Fantasy football and baseball, and like he is a stats guy. He likes numbers, so he can like cross over. But I feel like he's more comfortable.
He can gab with guys.
Yeah, he can do some both gabs. Well, the other thing with gabbing with guys, and maybe I'm very not into male. What am I trying to say here?
Gabbing with guys.
Gabbing with
I was
guys,
kidding. You're like, gabbing with guys. Yeah.
But they don't gab. Like, have you ever noticed this? Like, and I know this is like statistically proven. Guys are okay with just sharing space together.
I hate that though.
See, which is like more traditionally
That's the
male.
entertainer in me though.
Yeah. But like you can, like I get so weirded out. Like I'll sometimes spy on like the guys. If we have like a family party, they'll just, so we usually have it at my Aunt Paula's, and she has like a lower level, but you can see. Well, so like if you're up here in the kitchen, she has like the living room area. Yeah, like a real creepy spy. So they'll just sit there watching a game or watching golf, and they're just sharing space together, not speaking.
Oh, see, I would put that in my brain as nobody's getting along.
See, so would I.
Yeah.
But then I also see Jason and Joe. They do game night
Who's
every
Joe?
Tuesday. English Joe. It's a friend of ours.
Oh.
English
Joe.
English Joe.
English teacher?
Well, he's from England, so we call him English Joe because we're real original.
No, I was kidding.
And so they'll just play games. Well, they'll play video games.
Yeah.
And they won't talk. So I'll come in like after teaching a class or something.
Yeah.
And they'll be kind of at the tail end, so they don't mind that I'm talking, but they'll like get all the information because I come.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey Joe, how's the job hunt going?
Right.
Or how's Miriam going? That's his little niece. And Jason will be like, yeah, what's going on? I'm like, you guys didn't talk for 3 hours.
Right, yeah.
Like that's crazy to me.
I know, it's like a constant trope in TV series now.
Yeah, but I feel like there is this idea, and I talked to my therapist about this, and sorry, Nancy, but there's this idea where like men sharing space is actually a communication. Like they're not feeling, and not all men, obviously, clearly you're an exception, but like that is like sharing a energy or whatever does it for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Even like, even my guy friends, like growing up in high school and stuff, who are like football player guys, it was always like we're on the couch and we're just telling each other stories all the time. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's all the people you hang out with, because even the people I hung out with were always gabby.
Yeah, and maybe that's because you're like, you draw certain people.
Yeah.
You know, to
that's
you.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, well, and that's the other thing. Like,
and maybe I was pushing it with everybody.
And not everybody fits into a stereotype either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because, like, maybe that's like generally male. That's not everybody. So you would say, going back to this question, like, I feel like I kind of am gravitated towards somebody who is not a father figure. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, that.
I don't think I have like a specific type of person I'm drawn to, I guess. But I guess I would say my last relationship was kind of somewhat. Like, I don't know. She's kind of like my mom a little bit.
Yeah, Katie?
Sounds creepy.
Was a little?
No. I don't know. I just like saw her mom and I was like, you guys would be best friends for sure.
You know, I think my sister has a little
bit of that.
And they
actually ended up being best friends.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest thing for when we kind of like ended was like.
Breaking the family up.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think they still talk. My mom was like even thinking about moving to like Katie's neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
Katie's mom's neighborhood. Just so she could be around her. Like they just had this really weird. Maybe Kate and I were meant for them to meet.
Yeah, maybe.
That was one joke that we always had was like, I think our moms are going to get married.
I love it. You know that you mentioned that now, though. My sister is drawn to the family of her significant other. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's interesting because I don't have that same thing, but you're like looking out for something else.
Yeah.
You're trying to build something greater than just one connection, but a lot of others.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who doesn't look for that. So that's really interesting that you're...
That's where they bring that up because I'm not thinking about it. Because like I never got along with any of my girlfriend's brothers or sisters. I mean, I got along with them, but I never had like a connection with them.
Super connection, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if I was ever looking for. I think I was kind of looking for that because I would definitely say with Katie's family, I got along.
Yeah, well,
with
also
her brothers really well, and her
child.
brother-in-law. Yeah, and I never really had that dynamic.
Yeah.
So it was definitely really fun, like looking forward to hanging out with them. You
you're
know,
a part
which I
of
never
something
did.
else.
Yeah, which I never did in any other. Like my girlfriend before was like I got along, but they were kind of like they were just a little standoffish with me, but not too bad. I mean, they definitely very welcoming, but. Yeah, I guess maybe I was kind of looking for that a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
and I kind of think that maybe...
Broke through.
Yeah, broke through.
What?
Look at
That's
this.
why I watched The Bachelor.
Thanks, Becca.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it differs for different people, and clearly it's important to Becca, and it seems like it's important to Garrett as well. So Garrett does love having a good time, loves a selfie stick.
Yeah, he does.
He's got that selfie
Does
stick.
have a good smile. If I had a smile like that, I'd love it too.
You be selfie sticking the
if
whole
I
time?
had a very confident smile like that, I don't think I smile well.
Why?
I don't know.
Jonah,
I don't like my smile.
Jonah, I know that I say this to everybody. You need to go to therapy.
I don't need to go to therapy.
You need to learn how to love yourself.
I do love myself very much, but I'm also very honest in the things that, like, I have good attributes, my eyes, and then I also.
You're like, I'm wearing this. I'm very sweaty. I'm not gonna smile, but look at my eyes. But
No, I don't mind my smile. I just don't like it in pictures. I don't think I have a good picture. Like Friends with Chandler doesn't have a good picture smile. I have a terrible picture smile.
How do you feel about? Well, you love his smile. How do you feel about his bobsledding?
Oh, I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was fun
I was
too.
a little too excited to. I swear to God, I was like, he's gonna punch her.
Yeah, he was really excited.
He was so excited.
He was excited to take the ski lift. He was just very excited.
Yeah.
Has a real like Chris Pratt in Parks and Rec vibe where everything's
kind of like that.
exciting.
They're kind of like dumb. I'm up for anything.
Yeah, they're skipping at one point.
I did like when she was like, I haven't been on a ski lift since 6th grade. I mean, like, okay, so what's 6th grade? 12 months. He goes, snow sounds weird when you step on it.
He has a little bit of like,
Okay,
is there
buddy.
anything going on up there?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're pretty.
Yeah, and then she was like, it does. And then he goes, crunch.
I love snow crunching. Yeah, which again, sometimes like that's the other thing. If you're a person who's like gone through some stuff, which they're really pushing Becca, and I think she has. I'm not saying it. Sometimes it's nice to have like a clown energy around.
Yeah, where it's kind of like, hey, this guy's just fun.
He's just having a
and we don't have
goof.
to have a serious conversation every day.
Yeah, like this podcast.
But right.
Jonah tried to have fun, and I took that away from him.
Yeah. And then it was also, but he is willing to sit down and have like a honest, and he's not like afraid to be honest.
Yeah.
But I would say that, how do you feel about Becca when she hears stuff like that? Because she seems like she kind of looks into things too much. I think she's like,
I didn't notice.
feels like she's very afraid of being hurt again, understandably.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I don't know if you're ready. Are you ready to be in another relationship again? You know?
Well, maybe the whole part of this like TV show is to try to just like.
You didn't say game show.
I know, but you see me try and I stop because I'm like, Jonah hates when I go on a game show. This competition is very much like you have to be vulnerable, you have to be open. So maybe she's just trying to like talk her feelings out. Like, okay, you told me this great thing. Now this is how I feel about it. So that's what
she seemed like she did not like the fact that he was only 2 months of marriage, huh?
Well, yeah, they're together for a long time too.
I wonder how like how she would emotionally break him down and then build him up right away.
Oh, you mean his ex? I thought you were talking about Becca.
No.
Are you trying to get like pointers or something?
Well, I'm just wondering how she would like hurt his.
I think it's pretty easy.
Your penis is so small, but boy, do you know how to use it.
We call it beef.
Yeah, with beef. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that
You're
really...
such an idiot, but you're fun to be around.
Yeah. Oh gosh, emotional breakdown can happen so many different ways.
I also feel like Nevada girls are real harsh.
That's a huge general statement.
It is, and I stand by that.
Do you even know anyone from Nevada?
No, but I just feel like they're real harsh.
Are you using Reno 911 as your
stand
example?
by my comments.
Okay.
And anytime you see the women on Bar Rescue in Nevada, those are some harsh women.
Oh man, so is that another reality TV show?
No.
Jonah, you're like, my statements are based on all reality television.
I firmly stand by that statement.
I'm sure there's women in Nevada that are going to argue
There's
with
outliers and everything.
Jeez, you're a weirdo. I guess you got to find a platform, right, Jonah?
I am weird because I also was like, ski lifts are scary.
No. Oh my gosh, so I'm sorry, we're going back. Rewind. Back to the ski lift, back to the bobsledding. How much did you love that they finally showed a gay couple? And of all the time that I've watched The Bachelor...
I liked how uncomfortable Garrett got when he figured out what that meant.
Oh, I could see it like,
He's like, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they scissor.
What do I do? Yeah, scissoring also not a thing. But yes, that's probably what Garrett would have thought. You're totally right.
It is a thing.
Well, it's a thing on porn.
No, but it's a real thing.
I mean, scissors are real.
Yes, they are.
You can cut things
No,
with
that's
them.
not real. And me and Lincoln can talk about it. That's a flat earth. That's a round earth thing. Or scissors.
Okay.
No, girl scissor. The reason I know this is because
I'm sure
I watch porn.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. The reason I know this is because I dated a girl in college whose roommate was a female gay.
Jesus.
I purposely said that.
It's okay. You have a little Garrettism in you. Let it out.
No, come on.
So she had a scissoring
and then she would
example.
Tell stories, and and she was like, "That's the thing."
Yeah, I don't think it's a thing for everybody.
I don't think it's a thing for everything.
Yeah.
Neither is anal.
That's very good. That's a very good point, Joe.
Hey, Mom. Thanks for listening.
Oh gosh, Private Dick Jurkens knows about it.
Right.
But anyway, I really like that. So they were Olympians, right? 2006, I think they said.
Yeah.
Married, 2 kids, and I was like,
so they're on the same team together, and that's how they met.
It sounded like it. Yeah,
What a
it
great
sounded
story.
like they were bobsledding like partners.
Man, I'm picturing Garrett's face right now. It's so funny.
Yeah, yeah.
And also watching him realize what they were saying. Like,
you know
when someone's just a tad behind everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he likes the sound of crunching snow.
Yeah, he does.
I like it too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There's that. I'm not trying to be a dick, but
Right.
it does seem like there's little marbles kind of clinking around over
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't have him on the podcast
No.
now. I love when Becca was like, they were going to go like X amount of speed and G-force. And she's like, what's a G?
Yeah.
I had to look it up because I didn't know what it is. It's gravitational force. It's a unit of acceleration.
Yeah, I know
'Cause everybody's
that.
always
But
like
I don't know what
G-force,
that
G-force.
unit is.
I don't either. I don't even
Like
know.
how hard that is.
Yeah, I don't know what number equals what.
Yeah.
And I also love Becca got down bobsledding. She's like, our first bobsledding experience. Like they're gonna do it again
I know.
next week.
I know. Oh my
I was
God.
like, we're gonna do this forever. You're like, what are you talking about, you
Yeah.
goofus? Oh.
I like that too. Where she's like, "Well, what's the worst that can happen?" And the girl's like,
Death.
You're gonna die." What a fun
She's
thing.
like, Galuga.
Yeah.
Oh, golly gosh. Okay, so we get to the point, and we kind of mentioned this already, Jonah, where he starts talking about his ex. Are we there?
But before that,
Okay.
wait. Because here's one thing. I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed this because they seem like they're actually having she's building a lot of connections with a lot of people. By the way, she's gonna get her heart broken, and that's a clear thing.
Jonah knows. He knows reality
Yeah.
TV.
Yes,
guys.
I do. He was like, "You ready for dinner? You ready to eat?" And then she like leaned in, hugged with them, and then she goes, "I'm ready."
Oh, like a sigh?
Like I'm ready to be with you. Did you read it that way? I read it that way. I'm ready to move forward.
I didn't read that specific moment, but I do think that they're going to go very far together.
I believe that.
They seemed like they were, as far as like camera connection, they seem like the most connected.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he was sitting balls out on that couch though.
Oh.
Holy cannoli! I was like,
Man-spreading?
I'm so glad I don't sit next to that guy on the L.
Oh, really?
Because I think he was just comfortable, and I think maybe he forgot there was a camera there. But it was like in the table, and I was like, hachi machi,
Hachimachi.
wowzers! Oh, I'm like, put those away,
Yeah.
put those boys away. Yeah.
He gets a rose.
He gets a rose. He says thank you. He says thank you after each rose,
Which I like.
I think it's interesting. You could see what people start like reacting at the rose, and he's a thank you guy.
Yeah.
And then they go over to the room where people are screaming, and there's like not Gamer Smith. I wrote that down. Granger Smith,
Yeah.
some country, and I went
Yeah.
no. And they
always
danced.
country.
They danced an awkward dance.
Yeah. And
Awkward
there's always
dancing.
talking to her. There's like, it's Granger Smith. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it. Who's this guy again?
Yeah.
It's on the cue card.
I did like how when they walked in, she's like, there's so many people here.
So
why
can
is
you
there so many?
imagine? Like that's your like first or second date of just
Yeah.
like applause.
Right.
I mean, this is the best date ever. Yeah,
Yeah, you
have
went
people.
bobsledding with Olympic athletes.
I know, and people just applauded you for walking.
Yeah, right.
Like it's gonna be a pretty good.
Could you
date.
imagine doing all that and then going back and telling Wills about it, and then Will gets 101. He goes, I wonder what's going to happen. He's like, we're going bobsledding.
Snowmobiling?
Snowmobiling, I meant.
Yeah.
We're going snow. God, it would have worked better if I didn't say that. We're going snowmobiling.
Snowmobiling.
He's like, wow, cool. Like on the X Games? It's like, no.
No, just up a mountain by yourself.
Yeah. And
And
then
a
we're going to
drone.
sit in the snow.
Yeah, picnic.
That's fun.
Yeah, you're right. There are some like really exciting dates and then like really chill dates.
I know.
Yeah.
I get really disappointed. I'd be so jealous.
So back in the house.
But I did like one comment. I
Okay,
did like
sure.
one comment he said. I like the one comment he said, which is he's talking, and then he goes, I just want to make her my everyday.
Want to make her every day? Yeah,
Yeah.
you liked it. You liked that?
Yeah,
comment?
well, I hope. What do you say? I hope we're building something so I can start making her my everyday. That's what he said.
You like that?
I like that comment.
Yeah.
Every now and again, when someone says like a really cool comment, I'm always like, I'm taking that.
So you really
No,
into, like,
that's not what I meant.
You're just stealing some
Yeah.
like pickup lines or something like that. Sorry, I'm just checking in on we're doing some video, you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm just checking in to making sure it's still going. Okay, good. We're good to go.
Yeah.
So one-on-one, awesome. So we got back in the house, right?
Group
Can we
date.
go back to the
Oh,
house? Yeah, there's a group date.
Well, Lincoln, flat earther. Is there anything you want to say about that, or just that's stupid? Let's move on.
The Earth is round. Here's the deal.
Well, I liked his what about the water with
Yeah, he doesn't know about like.
And
gravity.
the guy was like, well, what happens when you reach? People go around the whole world. He's like, it's friction.
Yeah.
I know. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what if you see down the thing? There's a flat. Like, no, there's not. There's clearly a horizon that there's clearly a curvature.
Yeah, it would be different if he was like trying. And again, I think you can tell it's a goof because the goofy music is going on. Everybody's going to eye roll.
I think he's being pretty damn serious.
And I also think what happened. I think it was at Jean Blanc.
He's like, when I beat
the
shit out of somebody.
Away. He's talking.
Yeah.
He's talking. He's like, what? No, he kind of goes, dur, dur, dur. He moves away from the couch.
Did he go check his perfume he was making?
The smells. Yeah. It's a silly goof. Yeah, I mean, I
did when he was like, I would love astrophysicists to come and talk to me about this.
Yeah, he did seem curious. He wasn't a dick about it, which I guess I'll give it to him for that. Some people are just oh, that's just the way it is, and he's like, maybe I don't understand it.
It could be a rectangle. I don't know.
It could be anything. What do I know?
There's photos.
I know. That's the thing that drives me bananas. And the other thing, I think this is how he shows you the human brain. It's something has been clearly proven and discovered, and I get it. Scientifically, if you're curious, you can keep exploring. That's not what's happening. You just forget that all this knowledge, all this research, all this backup is happening. Knowledge is against you. He's not alone though. There's a whole thing.
How's that becoming?
People are the world is flat.
I don't get that.
I don't know. It makes me a little nervous about the world. But whatever you're gonna do.
Let's research that.
So back in the house, there's a group date. So
we got a big group date.
Wills gets 13 guys. Wills gets the one-on-one, and I thought for some reason that Jean Blanc was not on the date, but I was totally wrong.
Yeah,
I was totally 100% wrong.
And then gosh! Leo's first thing. We're ready for war.
Yeah, he loves a good group date, Leo.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
really
the dodgeball champion.
Yeah,
he's just good at stuff.
Man, seeing his shadow in the dark is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh, I didn't
when
notice.
his hair's down, his silhouette.
Yeah,
it's very elegant.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
he's got good hair.
Yeah.
So we go to Lumberjack. Anything before Lumberjack action?
No, you have anything?
I don't either. Kendall is the lumberjacker. That was my sister's name, so I got real excited. It is my sister's name. And Billy, the husband. So they're a lumberjack team. I love, you know what I do like about this? Just because Becca is a Midwestern gal. This is she's into it.
She's into it.
And do you remember Nick Offerman, another Parks and Recreation thing? I remember he was on a podcast and he was like, I'm the artistic one in my family.
Yeah.
There are 13-year-old girls back home in the Midwest that are stronger than me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that shit's right.
Yeah. You're damn right.
That shit is 100% correct. And some of that Midwesternness comes through in this, I think.
Yeah.
And I think I'm biased because obviously we're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
So I super like it. Jordan did
like
really
shopping.
well. I like shopping. Yeah. But Jordan, who likes shopping and spa, I did this little setup where it was a little tongue-in-cheeky where Dave is like, yeah, right, he's not going to do good.
And then happening, he goes, fuck.
Yeah. Jordan chucks the whatever, and he's like, damn it.
How do you like John? You've been a component of John for a while.
John rocked this.
Yeah.
And I love that he was kind of being open about his insecurities. I get nervous around cute girls.
Yes, and around dominant guys.
Or guys. He's
intimidating guys.
Yeah. And the fact that he used this as a personal challenge, and he did really well.
He did really well.
I thought that was great. He got the trophy at the end.
I feel like
axe.
they're kind of hey, you finish this one out, bud.
You
could see he's kind of
But he cruised. Him and Blake on that pole. That pole's got to be so freaking hard.
Yeah.
Climbing up a giant tree.
Yeah.
That's hard. I couldn't even do the rope in gym class. Could you?
Yeah.
Oh, no big deal. I couldn't.
I was afraid of heights.
Yeah.
It was very scary up there.
It's scary. They had a costume change, which they love here.
I also thought hey, let's you should do with these testosterone people who are really competitive. Just give them weapons.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a great idea.
You know what would be a better idea? Landscaping business. If they could connect,
trick people into doing that.
You guys, it's gonna be ultimate challenge.
Yeah.
Also, fix this yard.
Yeah. What if they did the what was it? Donald Trump show?
Oh, I don't know. It was the Apprentice-y?
Apprentice. But they did Apprentice and Bachelorette together.
Well, one, I don't want anything connected to Donald Trump, but that idea, sure.
Yeah.
You have you put them to work.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then the plaid after party. She's like, you guys better wear plaid to the after party.
Nobody
didn't. I was bummed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dang it. Jason gets some smooches.
Can we talk about how Lincoln almost killed himself?
Oh, with the axe chop.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You do not miss that.
Yeah. I was
like, oh my God.
You know what that was? That was the earth fighting back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, flat. Yeah.
Yeah, you see how this tree is round?
Right.
Idiot. Yeah.
The sphere is perfect.
Oh,
His
golly.
nature's perfection.
Slam. Yeah. I'm glad he moved his toe because I got nervous.
Oh my God.
Becca was really good at throwing axes. I thought
she
people
was
were
incredibly good. Scary good. Like
yeah, it kept hitting
that
Bull's
was
eye.
scary.
It was good. I can't. Have you ever thrown an axe? I've never thrown an axe or a knife.
Why are you surprised at that?
I threw scissors once.
What?
Yeah.
At who?
Well, it was not really at my sister, but we were fighting when I was in like.
So you threw scissors at her?
It was very not close to her, but it was like throwing them.
I believe I had a cousin who put another cousin through a glass table once.
Yowzers.
I think.
Yowzers.
That's a myth. I don't know if it's real or not.
There was a show I was watching recently.
There's no chair there.
Oh, yeah. I keep reaching for a chair. Oh, what the heck was it? Oh, Game Night. Have you seen Game Night with
I want to
Jason
watch
Bateman?
That. Is that good?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's violent.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, big time. But there's this moment where like people keep falling on glass tables and they never break. And I can't remember the actor's name, but it's Winston on New Girl. At one point, I think he's like, man, what's up with these glass tables? Like none of them break. He was just like, boink, boink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, like in Detroiters. With our friend Tim Robinson.
Our good friend. He's your friend.
What's your friend?
No, I don't know Tim Robinson.
I thought you knew Tim.
No, I mean, you know more people than I do. I just know people in the periphery. Anyway, so then we
That's
get to
not why I said that. There was actually a point to what I was talking about.
There was a glass.
And Sam Richardson. You never met Sam Richardson? Oh, okay. Yeah, they pretend to. Anyways.
Okay.
They're like trying to get stuff ready for this like pitch, the sales pitch, right? And then they have a basketball, and then they start like. It's a really funny show. Check it out. It's on Comedy Central. New second season coming out. We're sponsored by them. If you go to comedycentral.com/petals&pricks, you're not going to find anything. But if you go to comedycentral.com
I mean, just Google it.
/Detroiters, you'll find something. But then, and then they're trying to start playing basketball, and then someone does something where he like elbows the glass. You know, like there's a door, and then there's like the glass like in an office building.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit. And he's like, it didn't break. He's like, really? He's like, yeah, I think it seems pretty strong. And then the rest of they're trying to break it with.
That's their whole.
Yeah, we're
thing.
just kind of like goes into it. It's really funny. The show's so great. We should just watch that now.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jonah.
Yeah.
The cocktail party after the lumberjacking.
Yeah.
Which is not the right way to say that.
Well, yeah.
We got some pants off. We got some goldness. We got some Colton and Chris.
And also like, oh, come on. I don't want to see your hairy ass.
Yeah. He likes to take his pants off.
Yeah.
He just really does.
You think for a male model, you think he'd shave?
Well, no, I think that there's a look, you can have hair in your male model.
Think so?
Yeah.
Is that a thing now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's what I think. That's what I'm telling you. I don't think he's a male model.
Oh, well, there is that conspiracy. But you know what I think he would probably excel on is Bachelor in Paradise because he seems like he always wants to be in his underpants.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have this moment, and I know that you mentioned off mic that like your DirecTV.
It was raining last night.
Cut out.
Yeah.
So this is when Colton and Chris take Jordan aside, and they're like, "Hey,
Colton and Chris talk.
Colton and Chris.
Oh.
It seems like the way that they're filming it, it seems mostly that Colton has a problem, and Chris is just kind of like, yeah,
he's getting all alpha with them.
Yeah, and to be fair, it looked like Kristan was also like in the beginning of the like, hey, what's this guy? What's this guy's Jordan? Yeah, like that he was kind of like, this is disrespectful. This is silly, but he doesn't go out and talk to them.
Okay,
so it's just Colton and Chris. And Colton says something like, I'm one of the good guys. I should stay. Like, you're not worthy to be here. I don't have respect for you. And then they start bleeping something. So I'm not sure what it is.
What are the
like? Don't call me this. Yeah, and I would maybe the prickheads know because he calls him bro, and then he gets all upset. But I don't think it's bro. Why would they beep out bro? And you're thinking,
well, how do you think it's you think it is bro? It's probably bitch.
But they say bitch.
Like is he saying? Oh yeah, they say bitch.
They say bitch
maybe
all
only
the
get
time.
a certain amount of bitches though.
Yeah.
Maybe asshole. You're being an asshole. Does it look like there's 2 syllables?
It's weird. I can't figure out what it is.
Stop being an asshole.
Maybe. It's definitely a swear word. Maybe it's a fuck. I can't see what he's saying.
You're being a little shit. You're
Maybe.
being a shit. You're being a cock.
I don't know. We can go through all of them, but I don't know what it is.
Which one do you think it was?
I hope it wasn't the F word.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous because
that rhymes with rag.
Yeah. I was a little nervous that was what he was saying, but there's no evidence that he's saying that.
No.
It's just my head is like, oh gosh, please don't say that word, Colton.
But you think it's bro. But it looks like bro.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, that was just driving me crazy. Yeah. And then that kind of ended because the whole Jean Bloc stuff. Sorry, my nose got scratchy.
That's okay.
Happened. Yeah. So the Jean Blanc.
So what did Jordan say back? So this is all I missed. So what did Jordan say back?
What Jordan said back was like, "How dare you? You think I'm disrespectful? You're calling me bleep," and that was a bunch of bleeps. You're calling me bleep? That's disrespectful. You're the one that's disrespecting me. Blah blah blah. Or like, so it was just like he just much like Corinne, he attacked the thing that they were saying. You know what I mean?
Bitch though, because if what do you say? You're calling me a something.
I don't know. We'll look back at it. We'll figure it out. We'll let the prickheads help us out there. So here's the thing. Jean Blanc is just not reading the room very well.
Right.
You know, here's the thing. I know that this is like the big moment and she gets very like upset about it and everybody has a right to their feelings, etc. and so forth. He was just pushing. I think it didn't seem malicious to me. And maybe I'm wrong here. It seemed like he was playing the game. Yeah. He was telling her what she thought, which I think kind of everybody is, but maybe I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like, he just did not play the game well. He kept pushing where he should have pulled back.
Well, I think he was like coming off as desperate.
Yeah.
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 And man, when Becca's not into something, she is not into something.
Yeah. Even like Jordan tried to kiss her and she was like, no, no. And I think you just have to read that room and just realize it. And he kind of really dug himself in a hole and just kept digging. And it was so uncomfortable, Jonah, that I had to put my hand over my face. I could not watch it. I was like, I think I put yikes, hold the phone. Because he whispered,
give me a kiss?
I couldn't.
And she was like, ugh, I'm glad you didn't say one-on-one.
There was so much silence.
Yeah,
yes.
Like, everyone keeps saying, give me a one-on-one.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, but I got you this. And then he goes, I went to the world famous or the best perfume makers in the world to make this perfume for you.
Yeah.
Here you go. It doesn't even smell it.
Doesn't smell it. It's just,
I know.
It's just a lot. And I think she says something like, is he really feeling me or is it just
that just also goes back to those first few episodes where he's like clearly trying to give her like a suave look every time he talks to her, you know?
Yeah.
He's just trying too hard.
And it's got to be hard to be like, hey, be on the camera, be this thing. So this is my only like sort of not beef at all, but like question is like, I understand that Becca is looking, and I guess everybody kind of is looking for someone who knows what they want, knows who they are, and then can emotionally connect that and communicate it clearly.
But also saying it genuinely.
That is a lot. Like, now, I'm not saying that she doesn't...
I feel like you're describing me.
And I'm not saying that
you and us.
that she doesn't have the right to want that. That is a lot for a human being to do. Like, you know, even somebody going through...
with cameras.
Yeah.
And a boom mic over you.
Yeah, I think it's hard to do, even on
Chris
your own.
Sucking on souls.
I know. Demon Chris in the background being like, be everything I want you to be. It's just hard. It's just a lot to ask for. Yeah. And I know that is the game. So I'm not blaming Becca. Like, that is the game of this show. Like, be vulnerable, be open, know what you want, know how to express it clearly. Also look in the camera and have a soundbite. Right. That's just a fucking lot. Right. So I can see how somebody like Jean Blanc is like, I'm doing all the things that you want me to do. Yeah. What's the problem?
Right.
And then just like dig himself into a hole.
Right.
And then the other person be upset because like, you're not doing what I want. But it just was so uncomfortable to watch because it just felt like the breakdown of the game.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't feel like he was malicious or bad. Like, I wasn't mad at him. Were you mad?
I kind of was.
You were?
Well, because I like to...
You're not reading the room, my friend.
Well, I like to have that belief that people like are on there to like, you know, maybe for the fun of the game, but also like, you know, like not to hurt. Because it's like kind of a shitty thing to do to be like... I do like I like how honest he was about it. Also, he didn't need to say that.
He did not need to say like I'm falling. So he did say he seemed to be really focused on the rose at first.
Well, I'm talking about like when he reveals that he was just all saying it.
Yeah. So what does he say? Does he say he says I'm falling in love with you, right?
See, that's the thing is also my DirecTV cut out during that, so I saw the aftermath.
Yeah. So I think he said falling in love.
Oh, okay.
Not that like I'm in love with you right now.
Yeah.
Falling in love is still intense.
Yeah, but then minutes later, he didn't really have those feelings. Like, you can definitely I like you, and I'm starting to feel things for you. Yeah. But saying like I'm falling in love with you, and then later being like, oh, I just thought you wanted to hear that.
Yeah, and she did say, which I think
because that makes you look bad too. I mean, like people are now going to associate you with that. That's the last thing people saw of you. I just said that because I just wanted you to hear that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? I was going to say that.
But yeah, I can imagine that. You know, like with your feelings are hurt, you're trying to play this game.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, I thought this was the thing we were doing.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
I just think he's like too old to know not to do that.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying it's a great thing to do. To be like, I love you, take back.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? JK, like we're taking it back. And I'm sure you're trying to save face.
Do you think it was like a defense mechanism? Or,
it might have been embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it might have been embarrassed, but it didn't help the situation. No matter what, it did not help his case. And it fucked everybody
else over.
Yeah, but that thing of like...
Have you ever said something like that, though?
Have I ever said, I love you, just kidding?
Yes. No. Like, have you ever said that, like, just because you felt like the other person was looking for it?
No.
Or not knowing?
No, but I haven't said it a lot. Like, I'm not somebody who, like, throws it out. Yeah. I've said it before because I thought I felt it.
Okay.
Didn't get it back.
Yeah.
Felt embarrassed, but then I never took it back. I'm like, hey, I'm glad I said it. Clearly, you don't feel it. We're done. Like, there's no going back. That's the other thing. Like, like, there's no going back from that, which I think is exactly what she said. Yeah. It's like, you're really intense. I don't even know your history. I don't know why you're being so intense. Right. I don't feel that way. I need to walk you out. Which was like, ba-bang!
Because I missed all that. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, there's no backtracking. Like, it's a lot. I don't think I feel this way. I don't think we can step back. I don't know if I feel it. And then I wrote, I can't watch. Can I walk you out? And he was just like, can I walk you out? Like, I don't think genuinely he thought that was going to be happening when he walked in that room, nor at that moment.
Yeah, I feel like he was like, all right, I'll say this to her and that will get me to the next level.
Yeah, because before, and again, this is all what they do in the camera, he was only focused on the rose. He wanted to get the rose. So how do I get the rose? I do these things. That is the difference between a game show and real love. And when they screw the lines up, it's got to fuck with people's head, right?
But I think that happens in real life.
Oh, sure. I think you say things to get a reaction, and or people say things to have sex all the time. I mean, that is, but I was trying to say, like, it's seduction.
Yeah.
But here's the thing where it gets tricky. Like,
but it's manipulation.
Yeah. There's a negative aspect to that as well. Like, I think seduction is exciting. It's great. Mm-hmm. But when you wake up the next day and you know it was a lie, that's betrayal. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's what Becca is feeling, or seems to be feeling right now.
But also, she was in a relationship where I love you, and someone else love you, and while he's saying that, he's thinking of this other girl.
Yeah, and I totally get that. But this is where it becomes tricky. This is also a game where you're trying to win. So there is a little bit of
the struggle of being the Bachelor, Bachelorette.
Yeah, of like who's lying.
Yeah,
and who really cares?
Because I would say I would say generally speaking that the Bachelorettes are more genuinely in this to find somebody. And then I would say, generally speaking, talking to casting agents.
Casting agents?
Yeah, well, just because I got a chance to say what the casting agents. That's the only reason why.
Generally speaking, not me. I'm a man. Right. I'm looking for love.
Yeah. Not me. Generally speaking, I'm a good person. Whatever. You can email me at. That the men on the show are more in it for themselves.
Interesting.
As in to get like acknowledgement,
like boom,
that gets the fun. Like, oh, it'd be a fun thing to do. You know what I mean?
Like it's part of it. It's a game.
Yeah, I think that. So that's the hardest part about this show is I think finding genuine men who are there to find love.
Yeah. It's just a strange thing. Again, this is always like, and I think this is where
there's not. I mean, I'm saying there's not that, but I'm saying I think there's more.
And I think this is the crux of where you and I sort of have different viewpoints. Just a little bit is. I do see it as a game show, and I know that they're really selling it as true connection, and I do know there is a history of people actually getting married and actually having families. I think it gets very, very, very convoluted when you have a camera.
Yeah,
and so I think this is a situation in which perhaps there was no connection, perhaps there was no love at all, but I don't know if this man really wanted to be evil about it. He was just playing the game, and it went bad.
Well, I think he's just one of those things where he was forgetting that like this person's not an actress, this person's a real person. Yeah,
but that's got to be confusing, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, you're not an actress. Also, take two. But they're also, can you do that again?
I don't think they do those when they're on dates and stuff like that. Definitely the talking heads.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But like, it's a part of that world now.
Yeah.
So you're like, what's the difference?
This person from TV.
Yeah, like it's gotta fuck with your head.
For sure.
You know, and I don't think there is a right or a wrong in this situation. Now, I don't know him personally, and maybe he's a real jerk. I don't know. But the way that this set was set up, it just seemed like a really bad miscommunication that really hurt her feelings, and he did a really bad take back.
Right.
Like that was like, ooh, just leave gracefully.
Yeah.
Which we have some really graceful exits.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but there's some graceful exits where I was like, mwah.
Yeah.
I love when people sort of, for lack of a better, like lose the game show and still are like, hey, no big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, wish you the best. And they do it really well in a talking head. I'm like, that is a stand-up guy or gal.
Yeah.
So we can get to that, obviously.
So
she is clearly shaken up, right? I mean, she's like, I'm pissed off. No one gets a rose. Go home. Bye-bye. Yeah. Like, she's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to burn this place to the ground. Like,
well, now it's like, now everyone else is like, hey, I'm not lying to you. They're like, how do you know you're not lying to me, huh?
Yeah.
Because that guy,
Yeah.
Because Jean Blanc would have said the same thing.
Yeah, and I get it.
That sucks when one person ruins it for everybody.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I understand that, where it's like everybody's guards are up and that's the whole thing of the game or reality. But it really messed with the dudes.
Yeah,
because they were even like, poor Will's, man. Poor Will's. He's got it on this one-on-one. Oh my gosh, what is he going to do?
Who also was the only one not part of that group date.
I know.
She was like, how was the date? Good, you're fucked.
Yeah, everybody's like, good luck, buddy.
Yeah, he's like, why? Because she like liked all you guys? We're like, no.
Something else happened.
Oh my Lord, Nick showed up.
Yeah. Oh my God, Nick. And then clearly like he's pretty nervous, and he
also was reading her. It seemed like he was reading her really well too, where he's like, yeah, I know there's something here going on.
Yeah. You know what they show, which sometimes they show, but they did show him like packing up before, which is really interesting that they make everybody pack their bags before they go on their one-on-one, because they're like, this might be it, buddy.
Yeah.
But I do think they started it off, which I think is
really... It would be
really
funny if it was like those 2-on-1s where they fly up and they just throw them like a life pack.
Like with a little parachute.
Yeah, the little parachute that kind of comes down, and it's just like a splinter.
It turns into Naked and Afraid. Jordan would love it.
Yeah, right. Here's a map and here's a compass. Find your way home.
This turns into a whole nother game show.
Yeah.
So the snowmobiling thing. So obviously they see Becca and they have her like alone in her bedroom, and she's like looking off into the mountain snow, and she gets a little upset, and she's like, holding back some tears. And then you show Wills, who's a little bit nervous, but they start off when they come together really like jovial, and he's like falling in the snow, and he's like, whoa, hey, and I think just as somebody who understands tension and humor, I think that's the way to start.
Yeah.
It's all about
it was accidental,
the goofs.
But it was a good like tension breaker.
Yeah, and he's somebody who seems very serious, very chill, very like calm demeanor. Yeah. Maybe not a ton of laughs.
Right.
He doesn't seem like it to be the biggest jokester.
Yeah.
He seems very
which Becca
chill.
mentions.
Yeah. And I feel like to have that laughing moment is pretty important. And I think this is something,
And she said too that he does seem like a stand-up kind of guy.
Yeah.
Which I agree with.
Yeah. I feel like he seems
like he says what he means what he says.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like is not going to insert himself in anything he doesn't feel the need to.
Yeah. Well, for example, like he was not, because I think there was a moment where he was like on a couch with her and was kind of smoochy. Mm-hmm. Like, is it like, let's smooch right away.
Yeah.
And that definitely would not have gone well in this date. And he didn't, like he was like just snowmobiling. They're looking back. They're having a chat. She was the one that initiated the smooch.
Yeah.
He like kissed her forehead. They were like just talking and
reads
chilling.
the situation pretty well.
Yeah. Which is good. Like if someone is wounded, you don't need to put yourself upon them.
Yeah.
And that was pretty great. And then the dinner, anything else about snowmobiling? No, you're good.
You?
And then no. I think that it handled it very well. Like he again was very calming. The dinner with Willis, I've never heard of the term.
The whole time I would have been like, bobsledding, huh? You went bobsledding with Olympic athletes.
Yeah, so this is what we got.
And who got to sing? A country singer. It's very interesting.
Interesting.
With how many people?
You got applause by a room full. A room full.
Yeah. No. I like this picnic on snow. No, it's a great idea. The producer thought we should do it with shirts off. Yeah. Like it.
Like it. Into it. So Wills does talk about his past relationship. Have you ever heard of the term hall pass before? Of like sleeping around with somebody else? He mentioned it. His ex.
I don't like that term because of the movie.
Oh, the movie hall pass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of like spawned that.
Doy.
Yeah, and there was something else that also had. On Curb Your Enthusiasm. He had a hall pass.
It's called the hall pass.
Well, I usually just have been told it's like open relationship.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But it seemed like she was just like, I'll give you a hall pass because I want to fuck somebody.
Yeah, which turns out to be the thing.
I feel like if anybody brought that up to me, because they're like, you should, if you want to like, that's fine. It's just like, who do you want to have sex with?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Which is the situation.
Right.
No, I mean that's why I thought like hall pass seemed different than open relationship, which is seems like an agreement. I don't really know. But a hall pass, I just don't know why. I never heard the term before. I am not hip, everyone. Not hip. She doesn't seem that into him, I have to say. I think she's like, and she kept saying, he's the perfect guy for this date. He's the perfect guy. Like,
nice catch.
I needed this today.
Yeah.
He's doing great now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like he's the perfect guy for me.
Right.
But for this time.
She seems like I want to see where this goes, but I'm not really into it.
Yeah. It
but
seems like how she's giving away roses for injuries. I think she's also giving away roses for like positive moments.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not sure that I don't think that's terrible, but I was like, ooh, I'm not feeling the same like you see Popcorn Garrett and you see this date, which is the only other one-on-one, they seem different.
Yeah.
Now that might be because of the Jean Blanc, or that might just because like she doesn't seem that into him.
Well, also I think she like she seemed like she kind of like not a social butterfly, but she kind of like chameleons into like
people you can like go to a party and leave them. Like they can like be fine anywhere. Is that what you mean?
Because she kind of adapts to the person she's around. So he's more quiet and kind of like whatever. So she's that. So Garrett's like more fun and spunky, and then she kind of instantly adapts to that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I don't know if she's more adaptable. She talked a lot with Wills. Mm-hmm. Like filling the silence, I think. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was nervous, or if it was just filling the energy, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It's interesting. I just didn't feel the same like she was as jazzed.
Yeah, I agree.
I probably would be more drawn to Wills than Garrett. That energy.
See, I'd be the opposite. I'd be much more drawn to Garrett than Wills.
Yeah.
I need that type of energy.
Yeah.
I love that type of energy. Oh, for anything energy?
I like that in friendship. Like I think that's why you and me we're great pals, right? But Jason is Wills.
Really? Real 100%. Quiet?
And like when we're by ourselves, he'll be like a super goof.
Yeah.
But it's like I like this like yin yang situation. Okay. Like I need someone to like be chill because I'm the one that's spazzing out all the time. Yeah. I feel like I have been in like not a lot of relationships to be fair, but other people I've been with like romantically, if we're both crazy. Yeah. Also when I was drinking, but it's like it never ends. And like someone's got to be like, someone's got to take a nap. Yeah. Never. You know what I mean? It's like too much.
Well, I feel like Garrett's kind of like both though. Like when it's like time to do that, he gets like real excited about things that he wants to do. Because it's kind of annoying when you're excited about something and the other person just is like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like,
I think indifference is different than like cool. Yeah. There's like a calm. You know what it is too? It's like I feel like
it seems like he can slow down though.
Yeah.
With her.
Garrett, you're saying. Yeah.
Because even at dinner, he wasn't, like, Waboom was kind of like, ugh!
Yeah, like constantly on. Yeah. I just feel like, I think, you know how you mentioned before, and I know that we're going really long on this podcast, but you mentioned before, like, you're looking for family. A little bit, like, you're like, hey, I'm drawn to, like, when my mom is friends with another person's mom. Yeah. So you're like,
I just like when everybody gets along with everybody.
Yeah, which I don't think that's bad to say family, right? Like a group dynamic. You're looking for, like, something big.
Yeah, I don't like tension.
I think I'm looking for calm. So I had like big chaos in my home. Yeah. And I think, and I didn't know this going into it, but I think I was looking for a partner to make a home with.
Eye of the storm.
Yeah, like I want the home to be comforting. I don't want the madness.
Like your safe bubble.
Yeah, I want a home to be like an okay place to go. I never had that growing up. It was not an okay, like don't go home. Yeah. Home is not where good things happen. Yeah. And I think with Jason and the home that we've created, there's like it's a safe place where for that
like a safe haven.
Yeah, it might be boring for other people. Like if they see like me and Jason on a date or something, it might look boring sometimes.
See, I don't like that.
See, yeah, and I used to think I didn't like that either.
I like it when people are like, "Oh, what a fun-looking couple."
Yeah, but turns out I just want to create something safe.
That's your normal. Like, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it to be terribly boring.
Yeah, and I like to go out. Like, I think like that's like I like not that I want to compartmentalize my relationships, but like I like to go out and have fun with like, of course with Jason too, but it's like different than like you notice he doesn't come around to like the comedy stuff. Yeah. You know, like those are.
I thought that was your decision.
No. I mean, I think it was kind of both. One, I've been doing it for too long, and he's like, ugh.
I know.
You know, like
I said, it just doesn't get cute anymore.
But yeah, it's like,
it's
not
as cute as it first was.
Yeah, it's also like a job. It's like, well, I don't want to like see you at work, and I see all these people's same jokes. It's not like you work on your stuff. Right. Work on your stuff. You know, it's not like malicious or there's nothing negative about it. But also, he's not somebody who flourishes. I am an extrovert. Yeah. Like I flourish around that kind of energy, but I also need the other. Yeah. Anyway, I was just saying, like, as far as
don't get burned out.
Yeah, Garrett and Wills, I'm more drawn to a Wills. Yeah. Yeah. For romance. Like, you and I are great friends.
I feel like you're trying to convince me like to not start dating you.
Jonah, I hate to tell you, we're never going to sleep together.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
I'm not saying that. But why are you saying that? I just feel like we're building towards something together.
Yeah, friendship. That's why I think it would work. Like,
then why even do the podcast?
What do you mean?
Like, why are we doing the podcast if we're not building towards something? What's the point?
Wait, we're building towards friendship.
That's not what are you serious?
This has been a long con to get in my pants, Jonah.
Did you not understand? It's not that. It's your heart.
I can't even think about it.
Oh,
I mean, I'm sure you're very great at bed. Your beef is probably
This is just
amazing.
getting weird.
I don't know. I feel like Will's that's all I'm saying. I'm getting very hot now.
Right, because he's talking about my beef.
You're looking at the camera wink, wink. But I feel like it's okay to have anyway, I think it's okay to have different kinds of energy. Any snoozle, moving on. We go back to the house.
Do you want to move on from that?
Yeah.
You want to move on?
I do.
I want to.
Did I Jean Blanc you?
I think I'm Jean Blanc and you.
Did you get Jean Blanc? Rose ceremony, no cocktail party announcement. Oh, shock, horror for the guys.
But you noticed Chris was limping.
No, that was before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's okay now. He's had enough unicorn blood, so he's good to go now. Second rose ceremony, 2 rose ceremonies in one show.
Yeah.
So who has the rose at this point? Wills and Garrett. She gives her speech, which is like, "Hey guys."
Right before that, I got to say this because I forgot I wrote down, but this is something really important that needs to be said.
Ready.
I could watch Leo flip his hair all day.
You and Leo's hair are having a new relationship.
It's just so fun to watch.
It's good. It's good hair.
It makes me laugh.
You laugh.
Yeah.
You're like, good flip, buddy.
It's just like he's just like always doing it, and I'm sure he's probably thinking something catty while he's doing it, and I love it so much.
You're like, what's that one-liner tangled up in that beautiful hair right now?
Also, I'm like, how did you make it this long? I mean, I like you.
I gotta say, the curls too are on point. Like, you see people with curly hair.
Could you imagine being a girl and being like, peh, 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 like while you're trying to kiss your boyfriend?
Well, I'm sure he puts it back.
Peh, peh, peh.
You're thinking it's just like all up in that business?
Peh, peh, peh.
You just like to make tongue noises. Hey guys, speech. Can we? Leo's the first one picked. Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1. We go
Right.
Leo, Colton, Blake, Jason, Connor, Lincoln, John, Chris, David, Jordan is last, and I went, come on.
Right.
Like, oh, this guy.
Yeah.
But he had to do it for the 2-on-1 that's happening later. But he's very upset about getting picked last.
Yeah.
Does not like it.
What a son of a gun.
He does not like it. And then, so who's going home? Kristan and Nick.
Yeah. So you had something to say that you wanted to say about.
I loved Kristan's exit.
I was writing a note. What was his exit? He seems like a stand-up cool guy.
He was like...
He just seems like a chill motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, he was just like, you know what? I came on...
Like a Kenny type guy.
Yeah, he's like, we have 2 different paths.
Yeah.
We just are on 2 different paths, and it wasn't meant to be. Mm-hmm. And it was just so lighthearted and well-wished, and no resentment, no... we talked about in the Bachelor, the women internalize, it's my fault, and the Bachelor, they're putting it out negative, how dare you do this to me?
Yeah.
He was very much zen and at peace with it. He's like, this just wasn't meant to be.
Because it seemed like he wasn't feeling it either.
Yeah, and right? Nick, well, maybe, and Nick, same thing, was like, you know what? I wish I could do it over. I maybe would have done little things differently, but I wish her the best.
Yeah.
At those 2 exits, I was like, mwah.
Yeah.
Smooches to those guys. It was great. Now, maybe that doesn't make for good TV. Maybe they want it to be tearful or rageful or whatever, but they were just so grown up about it. I really appreciated it.
Yeah.
So good on you,
Good
guys.
on you guys.
And then you went to Jordan, who's like, how dare I be last? And you're like, all right, well, there's your
What the fuck
TV.
was a sponge analogy?
I have no idea what he was talking about. Yeah, so I'm like a sponge. If you squeeze me out, you're like, where did this sponge come from? What are you talking about?
Like, yeah, I'm like a sponge, like you might squeeze all the water out, but then
you're like, what's a sponge?
But then you're like, where did that all come from?
Yeah, and you're like, oceans? What are they?
I thought he's like, I'm like a sponge. You can squeeze all the water out of me, but guess what? I'll just get filled up with more later. And I was like, that's what I thought he was gonna go, and I was like, okay, I could see that.
Yeah, like you're resilient.
Yeah, no matter how hard you squeeze me, I'm still gonna be.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't
full of energy.
More intelligence or education on Jordan, because I don't think he knows what he's doing. Right? I don't think. What
would be your sponge now? Okay, so if you were a sponge, right, and you're trying to say hey, you might think I'm not gonna make it. I'm like a sponge.
I'm like a sponge.
I'm like a sponge.
I'm adaptable. You think I'm small?
Yeah, but no. But you gotta start off with the words. I'm like a sponge. Okay. You might wring all the water out of me.
Okay, gotcha. But
say it from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Okay, ready.
And go.
You might think I'm a sponge, but you're going to wring all that water out of me, and I'm bouncing right back, baby.
How so?
Well, I'm like shitting on Jordan. I can't even think of
because sponges are bouncy when they have the water out.
Well, like I'm resilient. Like you think I'm dried up, you think I'm done, you think I'm down for the count, but I fill up again.
There you go, fill up again.
I fill up again. See? Or like maybe like well, how would you do it? You go.
Okay.
And 1, 2, 3, action.
You think I'm done with this? I'm like a sponge. When you wring me all out.
And action.
When I'm like a sponge, right? I feel this is what's actually really happened. I'm like a sponge, right? So when you bring all the water out of me, you think I'm done with? I go back in the ocean and I become a real life sponge. And guess what I do? I start a family. And guess what that family does? They start a family. And guess what? We never stop.
So you're talking about sponge families?
Sponge family.
How many sponge babies are you going to have?
It depends on if I meet the right girl or not.
I'm trying to be the producer, just quietly coaxing things out of you.
Yeah.
And action.
Okay, action.
Oh, okay. I'm like a sponge. If you know what? If you squeeze water right out of me and you think I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not.
This is harder than I thought. You think I'm a sponge?
Guess what? You think I'm a sponge?
Wait. Action.
You think I'm done with you? You think I'm done here? I'm like a sponge. When you take a sponge in your hand and you squeeze it all out, guess what? You got a fist, and I use it to punch you in the face to be number one.
Whoa, violent. Okay, do me.
Okay, go.
Say action.
Action.
Oh, I'm like a sponge. You squeeze some water out of me, right? But then I'm back in that sink washing the dishes. I'm washing. I'll do anything for you. Pots, scrubbing them down. What is she talking about? I do floors. Yeah. I do toilets.
Yeah.
I do bathtubs.
Yeah.
I love bleach.
Yeah.
I love your family.
Yeah. I'm like a golden retriever out there.
Speaking of golden retriever, I'm going to smell my golden underpants.
Yeah.
Okay, and please stop saying Captain Underpants. It's a cartoon for children. Right. You're not using it correctly.
I'm like a sponge. When you squeeze that thing, you bring it all out, guess what happens? I'm still a male model, baby.
Wink.
Oh,
you guys. Ting. Next up on The Bachelor, lots of dates. And then Chris is Vegas, losing it. They're going to Vegas. Chris is having a breakdown. Not Harrison, soul sucker.
I think Chris is losing it because he can't get his cocaine fix.
Well, they're in Vegas. Maybe he did get his cocaine fix.
Maybe he did get his cocaine fix.
And then it looks like they're doing David versus Jordan. Probably a 2-on-1 situation.
Yeah.
So, Jonah, if you were going to rank this episode, so we're in episode 4, out of all the episodes, where would you put this? High on the list of entertainment value, low on the list of entertainment value?
I put it at aces, baby.
Aces! Is that for Vegas?
I don't know. Oh. I would put every single one on the same plane.
Oh yeah, they're samey to you?
This to me seems just like a flat. This whole season just seems flat like the earth.
We gotta end it on that.
How do you feel?
That's a good ending.
Yeah.
Who cares? That's a great ending. It's flat like this season is flat like the earth.
Yeah, flat like the earth.
Bye.
Bye. Do you ever see Birdemic?
Yes.
It's like those people that
of course I've seen Birdemic. We talked about this, I think, on the podcast. The lady's dirty feet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no. If I was that actress, I would be so pissed as well. I feel like I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Why did you? One, you probably had me not have shoes on, walk around set the whole time, and now I have the dirtiest feet ever, and that's all anybody remembers about Birdemic.
Well, my favorite part that not a lot of people caught was that the star of it. There's that one where.
Wait, Jonah. I want you to keep talking about this, but I'm not going to be able to use sound because we're not recording.
No, you sound up here.
Okay.
It just then cuts into real time.
Yeah, got it. Okay, Birdemic talk.
Well, oh yeah, we don't have to do this. I just want to say this. Where, because when I edited the movie for the movie show, so then there was a scene where something happens and he ran inside the car to talk to the army guy or whatever. They were talking and he's just like, where'd that girl go? And then he snuck in the line. I don't know, she's probably taking a shit.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
where he smiles real hard.
I don't remember
you
the smile.
You can see him smile from the corner, and it's so slight where you're like, did you just say that? So yeah, if It's so funny.
I don't remember that part. There's definitely parts of that movie though that are burned in my brain.
Because James Nguyen was like, no, I need you to stick to the script. It was very like script oriented.
Because it was a stellar script.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna see these solar panels for $1 billion. Solar panel.
Yeah.
Solar panel. Solar panel.
Yeah.
It was a solar panel for $1 million. Yeah, that's really dumb. And what was the like family song where they go to like Chuck E. Cheese?
Hanging out with
the family.
Yeah. Grandmother's cooking on the grill. Hanging out. Something.
Hanging out with your family.
Hanging out.
Now we look like that guy. Jared for sure. Garrett. God damn it. Hanging out with the family.
Yeah.
Family. Hanging out. Hanging out with the family.
Yeah. I like when she had that phone call and she's like, "You are now a Victoria's Secret model." Oh, that's great.
You're making me spit out my tea.
What a fucking terrible movie.
It was so terrible. So terrible. And we didn't even talk about the bird part, where the birds are just
exploding.
Clearly.
I like how it just ends.